right, Joe.
6. Yeah.
Come put this up here. I can't reach.
She gets change the levels. She changes the levels. You want to be a little close. Oh!
All right, we are live streaming this via Facebook as of now.
Okay. That's exciting. So are you just going to sit there and hold? Don't you have to get the mic?
I took a shower this morning.
I don't know.
All right, we'll go on the air. Can you keep the door closed, please? When we go on, we'll take our first break at 12:40.
Yep.
So when I shut up.
Yep.
You talking to me?
No, she ain't talking to me.
I don't know how this works.
I don't either.
Am I not? So I can't be talking to him. Got it.
You have been on the air before, right?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Really?
I've been on the air
Leslie's a virgin.
I've been on the air for 3 years.
Sorry, guys. I make this really terrible.
How many years?
3.
Mm.
I was on my college station before this.
Really?
Yeah, I was a music director in fact. So
No. It's fun.
Does he even know my backstory? Oh, okay.
Nah, no idea who you are besides a police officer.
I thought you were a little old man in a Hawaiian shirt.
I did 12 years of radio before I got into law enforcement.
Really?
The last 4 were here.
Oh.
I did the morning show.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it was good then. What?
No, we're live.
All right, you want to talk into your mics and keep them relatively close.
Al?
On streaming video, she looks just like Anne Hathaway, the actress.
Thank you. I've actually been told that before, so I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
that.
Well, why am I sitting beside Doofus then? I told me I have the actress sit beside me.
You want to
Yeah, I'm not stupid.
Oh, what have I done? I don't think I'm ready for this.
How much time do I have?
Yeah, alcohol just makes me more talkative. So
Shut it.
4 minutes.
All right. You ever had that?
Well, my dad used to drink it when he was an alcoholic.
nobody in their right mind would have that.
It's bad.
What
What's
is
up
that?
with the chick
Miller
with the
High Life.
sombrero?
Oh. No, I don't.
What's the purpose
She's
of
living
her?
the high life.
She's drinking the shit.
Oh, this is still, we're live on Facebook, huh?
Yeah.
How can they hear us from that far away
They
and,
can't.
and the mic of the phone being in the tape dispenser?
They can't.
I don't think that's what's important.
You notice
Yeah,
that position
I didn't do
so
the back
I'm
of
not
my
in the
hair
picture.
today, so I'm not sure how this is working out for me.
Fantastic. Lots of texture and curls. It's great.
Leslie, do you have your breath tube?
No.
Oh, you forgot
I
your
don't have mine either.
Go get them.
Go, kids. Or he can go get yours, too.
You can
He
be
can be a
with the
gentleman.
kids. Yeah, but what if he forgets which one is mine and which one is his?
I think we just made a match. Match made.
All right, we've got a minute, and then we're going on.
What are we
I'm
talking
Alex Hinton, and this is your Education Watch, a public service of Royal Broadcasting.
Oh, that's me.
Yep.
Did you not learn anything about leaving an open alcohol container in a room? I mean, I could have slipped anything in there.
You know, I just had a conversation with my
With
coworkers about that the
with
other
that
day.
little. And
It's enough. You'd be going, that last week tasted funny.
Roofie.
And then you'd be gone.
She'd wake up in Janet's house.
For
No pants on.
a guy that's not big of an issue. It's the girls
The
have to worry about that.
statistics are, yeah.
It's the girl that has to worry about that, not the guy.
Guys still have to worry about
All right, 2.5 minutes for you to finish. You're finished. Then we'll breath you, and you can start your last one.
Remind me to kick Tim in the rump.
Yeah. All right.
Rump. Okay.
Hush.
We're live. Are you playing the new music?
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
Wait, we have new music?
Ready? Silence. Hello and welcome to the Valley today. I'm your host, Janet Michael, and I'm sort of happy to be in the studio today. This is going to be the most entertaining show I think we've done in quite some time.
Since St. Patrick's Day, anyway.
Well, yeah, because, nobody's really going to be able to top St. Patrick's Day, although Joe over here is trying. Lieutenant Warren Gosnell, Traffic Division Commander for the Frederick County Sheriff's Department, is here with us today, along with a few test subjects, because we are doing our live alcohol lab in the studio today. Lieutenant Gosnell, what have we done? What have we done? What have we done?
Janet, all we're trying to do is pass along the message that we've done a couple times already in the last 6-7 months, and that is we want people to be aware of how easily it is to slip past that point of casual drinking and into a possible DUI situation.
Right.
we have 3 subjects in here today. We were going to have 2, but we were fortunate enough that we had one more come along. So we have 2 males and a female. Everyone today is drinking beer or a beer-like beverage.
It's the 4th of July. I mean, that's what everybody drinks, right?
Yeah, they drink that Miller. Well, we're not going to give any
It's the
endorsements,
champagne
but
of beer.
yes, the champagne, the light beer of beers, and then something that tastes like lemonade, from what I'm told.
Yeah.
But on the serious note here, what we've done is we've staggered the amount that each are drinking. They're all 3 different ages, all 3 different sizes. 2 are male, 1 is female. What we will look at is what the different blood alcohol contents are. We'll ask each one of them how they feel. Would you drive? Do you feel comfortable if you were going to try to do this? Because we'll also talk about tolerance. When we were here earlier in the year for St. Patrick's Day, we talked about folks trying to get together after work for a happy hour type event.
Right.
And how 1 drink can turn into 2 and can turn into 3. And before you know it, you've gotten to that point, and now it's time you got to get home. Well, now we're talking it's summer, and here we are in the summer, and instead of being at a happy hour event or something indoors, a lot of people are going to be celebrating outdoors, picnics, barbecues, cookouts. Not everyone, but a lot of people have the day off, so they have more time. You're out in the heat. What do you do when you get hot?
You drink more.
You get thirsty. You drink. Doesn't necessarily mean you're drinking alcohol, but if it's there and you're not realizing it, before you know it, that 1 beer is turned into 2, into 3, into 4.
Absolutely. And that's the biggest thing. That's the thing that you kind of have to pay attention to and realize.
And what we're going to do right now, Leslie is one of our test subjects. We're going to give
Thank
her
you, Leslie, for coming today.
a quick
so
breath
welcome.
test.
Surprise!
And
All right. And we've already given the gentlemen their breath test so far. Let's see what this result is. You
oh, we
gotta
got to
put
get the glasses on.
yes. So far, Joe, on his last test at 12:21, after having 3 beers, was at a .05. Alex, who had 2 beers, from 11:52 to, or excuse me, 11:42 to 12:21, was also an 05.
Interesting.
So 1 more beer for Joe, and I missed the reading on Leslie.
And that is interesting because, you know, you were saying earlier about sizes and that sort of thing. One of the reasons why we kind of asked this particular group of test subjects is because Alex is a newly graduated college graduate. You know, we joke and say he's just the skinny runt of a guy. And then we have our production manager, Joe Woodall, who is not.
Joe enjoys a good meal every now and then.
And
Really?
so, yeah, they're very different sizes. So that is kind of interesting to see what, you know, their alcohol level is after having a few more than the other.
Well, and that's where we get into as well. I keep harping on it, but it's the important factor here is tolerance. A person may feel that they're okay to drive, and their tolerance may be built up to a point where they are okay as far as their motor skills.
Right.
But in Virginia, we have a presumptive BAC level of a .08. And what that means simply is if you are stopped, if you come through a checkpoint, if you're stopped for speeding or some other moving violation, and an officer detects alcohol and he proceeds with a DUI investigation, and your blood alcohol content is above that .08, it's not going to matter how well you touch your fingertips to your thumb, how many times you can touch your nose, if you can say your ABCs forwards or backwards. Virginia has said at that .08 or above,
You're done.
we presume you to be impaired.
Absolutely.
Between an 05 and an 07, a person can still be arrested and later convicted for a DUI if the officer can articulate that that person was impaired by the amount of alcohol that was in their system. And that's why we try to preach if you're going to have any, don't drive.
Just
Don't take
drive.
the risk.
Yeah. And we talked about that, you know, when we did the last one before St. Patrick's Day in March. That was my big thing. I was one of the test subjects at the one in March, and I'm crazy about that kind of thing. If I'm going to have anything to drink at all, I typically don't drive at all. Because for me, as tacky as it may sound to say, I'm not really concerned about getting into an accident. I'm more concerned about my picture ending up on the cover of Crime Time.
Well, let's do this real quick. Here's what we have. We have 3 subjects, 053, 059, 056. You can drop the last number. So it's 05, 05, 05, even though Leslie is close to the 06. That's 2 drinks for her, 3 drinks for Alex, 4 drinks.
5.
We haven't tested you yet on
Oh,
those
yeah.
Oh
drinks.
yeah, so just
So-
Test me,
Yeah.
So
brother,
far.
test me.
So let's ask them. Leslie, how do you feel so far?
I feel pretty good. I'm about where I would want to be if I were just kind of hanging out in a like tipsy, happy state. I'd want to maintain this.
Now, would
And
you
not
want to
really think
drive?
about
Do you
it.
feel you could drive?
I do feel like I could drive.
Now, what we just said, she feels like she could drive, but she feels good. She admits she feels good.
right.
So what if during that feeling good, she doesn't realize she's going over that fog line a couple times? I roll up, I stop her, I smell the alcohol, and we go from there. One of 2 things. She's either going to pass the test that she's given and maybe be able to go on her way, or the fact that even though she feels good, her motor functions have been impaired to the point to where I'm going to go further. We're going to give her that breath test. She's going to be at that 06 or maybe even a little higher because she might still be on her way up. And before you know it, the day on the lazy river has turned into a DUI.
And that's the thing that impressed me the most is you don't think about that time factor. So right now in this moment, she thinks she's okay to drive. If she lives 20 minutes away, 10 minutes from now, she's not going to feel exactly the same way that she's feeling sitting here in this spot. And her motor skills are going to deteriorate. Her judgment is going to go downhill a bit. But by then, she's already on the road and midway to wherever it is she may be going. And that's a bigger issue. That's a more dangerous situation to be in.
Well, let's talk about this. What if it's not Leslie that's at fault in the crash?
That's the worst part. That is always the worst part.
Leslie's just caught up in a vehicle crash, but as part of the investigation, again, the odor of the alcoholic beverage, we go from there. She didn't do anything wrong other than getting behind the wheel after consuming the alcohol. And now, not only has her car been damaged by someone else, she's being arrested
Now,
for a
yes.
DUI.
And it's the epitome of the double whammy, so to speak. That's the thing that always, people don't look at all of the different circumstances. They only think within their own little box and what's going to happen to them specifically. And they don't think about all the other things that happen once you get out on that road. As Alex opens his next beer, look at him all excited.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Alex, how do you feel?
I feel good. I'm about the same place. This is where I'd want to be if I was hanging out with friends.
And would you stay where you were hanging out?
At this point, I would either stay where I was hanging out, or I would get somebody else to drive me, because I'm kind of like with Janet. I'm fresh out of college, so I know the dangers of DUI, and I've been, the college made sure to well educate us on the dangers of
And
it.
you know why that would be a good thing, Joe? Is because you're just about at an 08 now. You're at an 076.
I'm Alex.
Yeah.
That's Joe.
You're all the same.
Who? I'm sorry. What? I'm just writing down stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, Alex, the young skinny
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, at college, I had it drilled into my mind about DUIs and the dangers and all that. So at this point, I would not drive.
All right. And Joe, who has been drinking the most of the group, we're going to wait to give him his test because he just finished what would be his 5th beer. So we want to make sure that any residual mouth alcohol has dissipated. So again, Joe, how do you feel right now, not even knowing the result yet?
I'm not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere?
I'm calling my wife.
Well,
Pick me
and,
up.
yeah, so on that note, we are going to take a short break, but I do want to remind everyone who's listening that our alcohol lab today is sponsored by Yellow Cab of Shenandoah LLC. They want to remind you, call 540-622-6060 for a safe ride home if you're out and about this 4th of July weekend and find yourself in a situation like anybody that's sitting in here and think that they're not ready to be driving and don't have anyone to call. You can always call Yellow Cab. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and talk more with Lieutenant Warren Gosnell from the Frederick County Sheriff's Department and our wonderful guinea pig test subjects here on the Valley today.
All right. We're going to get you to finish yours quicker just so I know that the residual alcohol is gone.
Really, Alex?
What?
He enjoys a good meal or two?
Rude. Rude.
Am I allowed to pee?
I mean, have you not seen him?
No.
I have to break the seal.
I've already broken the seal. I'm gonna
There are 2 pepperoni pizzas out there.
Yes.
That's going to be a lot better than my turkey sandwich.
Only grab
Exactly.
one, and that'll put you at 6, but you're going to have to finish up
Somebody picked
quick.
up a sandwich like 10 a.m.
Leslie, I'll be in Liz's office. Taking care of the mama thing.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
No,
Bye.
please, no, no, no.
What?
What's she doing?
Pumping.
Ew.
Yeah,
The mama thing.
yeah.
Pumping the boobies.
Mike's always
We
on.
have all kinds here.
So you were the morning here before Randy was?
Yep.
So who do we test for what when we get back?
Should I be drinking
Are we gonna
faster
blow
so I
Joe?
can take my time with this one? I just wanna make
I don't
sure.
want to push you too much, but
He told me to finish this one, so I'm working on it. My goal's how long do we have left in the commercial break? Is what?
I'd like you to finish it in the next 3 minutes.
I don't ever pay any attention to that. I just listen
Or
to
if
the
you
weather.
can't, finish whatever you can in the next 3 minutes.
30, there's
And
about
that way I
there's
get
a
an
minute left.
accurate breath test on you.
Okay.
And then we'll take our next break at 12:50 when we come back.
I have to work with the.
And then the same with you, by quarter till, have it finished.
Quarter till? Oh, easy.
And that way, between 5 till and top of the hour, I can give them all their tests. We're going to have Joe do one more. So that'll be hopefully 3, 4, and 6.
Yes. My poor husband is going to be very upset that I'm not bringing him any beer home tonight because it has all been consumed throughout the course of this little experiment.
I'll shoot Bud Lights. You can take them.
I won't.
Am I gonna blow you before we start?
You didn't drink any of that yet, right? Yeah.
Because mine was really high.
Well, you still had the residual. When it shot up like that, I was like, okay, that's residual.
This weather forecast is a sense.
The limit's the same for males and females? Right, it's not, right? The limit? Like what you have to blow for your DUI?
Oh no,
Hi,
it's the same for
Liz!
everybody.
It's the same for
Male,
everybody? Okay, I thought
female,
it was-
doesn't
I thought
matter
it was
age.
still
We
lower
sounded
for
great.
females.
Age doesn't matter.
All right,
Anybody blows above that 08, you don't even have to have a license. We've had 15-year-olds.
we're coming back after the weather.
Alright, that's all I can do.
You got 45 seconds.
Unless you
Don't tell me how much time I have. You're on the wrong side of the desk,
You know.
buddy.
can say 2.5.
You don't know what you're doing.
I'm not going any faster.
Are you done?
I'm done. That's it for right now.
I'll finish mine off before the 45.
12, 24, we'll say 30 ounces.
I know my limit.
That's good. But we'll say 30 ounces.
It's not the alcohol that's the limit, it's the carbon.
All right.
Five seconds. In the weather center.
Kemp Miller in the weather center.
Thank you, Kemp. Those are wise words. Do not drink and drive, especially given the topic of our show today. Welcome back to the Valley today. I'm your host, Janet Michael. If you're just joining us and you want to hear what you've missed so far, because trust me, this has been an entertaining and very educational show that we've been doing so far, you can always go to our website at theriver953.com. Click the On Demand tab. From there, you can listen to this show. You can listen to past shows of the News at Noon, of Sports Wrap, of Education Watch. You can share them with your friends. Again, this is a very important topic. We want to make sure everybody who's tuning in now understands this has all been done under supervision of Lieutenant Warren Gosnell from the Frederick County Sheriff's Department, and no one will be driving here themselves when they leave the station this afternoon. Our lab is sponsored by Yellow Cab of Shenandoah LLC, and they wanted us to remind you they have a new service called Yell Livery, where they can now deliver prescriptions, flowers, fast food, documents, and more within the Front Royal area. You can find out more by calling them at 622-6060. So that means if you're at home and you've had too much to drink and you need a pizza or you need something delivered from someone who doesn't normally deliver it, you can give them a call. That being said, we're going to go back. I'm curious to see who's where.
Pizza places usually deliver.
Not all of them deliver, and some of them, you know.
You know the thing I find, Janet, that is interesting? Joe did the first one with us for New Year's.
He did.
Then you did the St. Patrick's Day, and now Joe is back to doing it, and you're running the show, and things are much different than when you were over here.
They
So
are,
I've
and
already
yes,
seen a difference in
I
you.
know. I'm going to regret saying this, but apparently the video of our show is on the Rivers YouTube channel, as are my sobriety tests.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah, I didn't realize that until Joe found them for me the other day, just to show me, you know, how entertaining and educational I was for everybody back at St. Patrick's Day.
Well, here's where we are right now. Leslie has finished. She's going to be at a total of 30 ounces of a malt beverage. We're going to test her here in about 10 minutes and see where she's at. And we're also going to give her that time for the alcohol to be absorbed into her system and
Right.
ask her again, now how do you feel? That's another thing people don't realize. The quicker you drink, You may feel fine after that fourth one that you've thrown down real quick. It was like we talked about with the happy hour situation.
Yes.
You're in a hurry, you got to get home, still got to do dinner, but everyone wants to celebrate, whatever the
Let's
occasion.
have one more quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you're fine. 10, 12 minutes into that drive home, all of a sudden, that alcohol is metabolizing, it's hitting your central nervous system, and now what do I do?
Yeah, you're on the road. And what do you do? Exactly. What you do is don't leave.
Right now, Alex at 12:38, after 3 12-ounce Bud Lights, was at a .076, borderline for the presumptive level, still within the realm of being arrested if he were to be stopped and tested and found to be impaired between that 05 and 07. Joe at 12:45, after having 5 of the champagne of beers, is a .071.
Interesting. So Alex really jumped just from one more beer.
Well, and this is what I'm talking about, the metabolization.
Right.
Joe's hasn't fully metabolized yet because he had 2 at the time that Alex had his 1.
Right.
When Alex was having number 3, Joe had number 4 and 5. So it's still in his system. It's still, his body's saying, hey, what are we
It's still
doing with this?
processing. Yeah.
Correct. By the time we get to the end of the show, and probably about a half hour after the show is over, is where Joe is going to peak. And so tomorrow on your program, you should do an update to here's what they ended up at 1:30 when everybody was done and everybody got to their highest level and it was metabolized. Because that's another thing with doing this half-hour program and we come in an hour early to get
Yeah.
started. Again, just because it hits your body, hits your belly,
Yeah.
it's not into your system automatically yet.
And it's similar to the show. We go off the air at 1, but that doesn't mean it's over. It's still continuing. Even after we're done, we're still hanging out here and we're still talking and the station's still playing music.
And you can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/TheRiver953.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
So here's where we stand. It's 12:48, 12:47. Everyone is done with the drinking portion. And before we go off the air here in 12 minutes, we'll give each one of them a final PBT, which is preliminary breath test. And we'll see where they are. But right now, Leslie,
Yes.
has anything changed?
I feel a little more inebriated than I did the last time. Not too much, but it's just slightly more than I think I would normally like to be comfortably.
Alex?
I'm starting to get in the party range. I can't feel my face at the moment, so
I know that
When your
feeling.
lips
I
get
have
numb.
to say, I know
yeah,
that
my
feeling.
lips are getting numb. So
And I want to reiterate to people because I don't want anyone listening and saying, they're making light of this.
Right.
We can't control how Leslie or Alex are feeling. We're not going to control what they have to say. I want to hear their honest words. This is the thing we're talking about. It's not a matter of we're trying to say, hey, it's great to be drunk.
No.
Hey, it's great to have a great time and down alcohol, yada, yada. This message is about how quickly just 2.5 malt beverages, just 4 Bud Lights, or 6 Miller High Lifes can catch up to you and cause serious problems for you, your family, and other motorists on the road. I don't tell people how to live their life. You're at home, you want to drink, and you're old enough to drink, and you're not hurting anybody, that's on you. When you get out on the road, that's on me.
Yeah.
Because it's my responsibility to make sure not only you, the person drinking, gets somewhere safely, but it's up to me to protect the others on the road from you if you've had too much.
Absolutely.
And some of those people on the road are people that I love and that I care for. So we'll take all the joking, and we're going to have a great time. If that's what makes you remember the message, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
But get the real message.
And that's the key. I mean, the key is, you're right, we do a lot of laughing and joking while we're doing this show because of, necessarily what stage that each of these guys are in. But it is. I mean, the sobering fact, quite frankly, is what happens if any one of them should decide, hey, I'm okay, I'm going to make a run to 7-Eleven and get us another 6-pack. And it could have horrible, horrible results.
Correct. Joe.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. I have a sleeping bag in my house.
All right. It has been an hour and we'll say 10 minutes since Joe and Alex both had their first drink. Is it plausible that in a social setting, Alex, you would have 4 beers in an hour and 10 minutes? Is that
that's very plausible.
okay? Joe?
Easy. Yeah.
And Leslie, you had 2.5.
Yes.
Is that something you feel I think you're closer to probably an hour now because you started late. But in an
I
hour,
absolutely
could you see
could.
that you could have 2, especially on a hot day,
Yeah.
Yes.
outside,
Yep.
at a picnic or a barbecue, maybe even doing some physical activity,
Mowing the
softball,
grass, doing any of
volleyball,
that kind of
whatever.
stuff. Yep.
I don't do physical.
It sneaks up. Yeah.
Well, according to Alex,
yeah.
you,
It sneaks up on
unless
you.
it's in the kitchen. But
We are going to take another quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more with Lieutenant Warren Gosnell from the Frederick County Sheriff's Department. Before we cut out, I want to say thank you to Christopher McGilvery, who's watching us live stream on Facebook in England right now.
Oh, England.
Yes.
Jolly
and
good.
we'll-
Jolly good.
We'll
How's
be,
it feel to not be part of the EU?
we'll be right back on the Valley today.
What is that?
Brexit.
Brexit.
Bloody
Get people
hell.
alcohol.
How's it
I'm a
feel?
little drunk.
Well, I was
so
going to
bad.
finish this program, but no, I am not.
Now I'm going to close out of it.
On the verge of economic collapse, how do you feel?
All right, when we come back, we're going to have almost no time because we went over that time.
Oh, bloody
do the math.
hell.
I blame you for that.
Do the
No
math.
time to do what?
You're the host, it's your fault.
Hey, I can clear shit out, man.
No time to do what? How long is the break?
When we come
2 minutes.
back, do the math. I don't do the math.
I
2
don't.
minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
have,
I don't know when the breaks start and stop. I just put stuff in the rotation.
I know that at 12:50, 6:50, I got to shut you all up for the last minute.
Yep.
Okay. You gotta give us that
So-
look.
What's on the
We'll
last
have
minute?
maybe
Yeah, what's
that's,
the-
well, the last minute is where thank you for coming. Listen to the website. The guest on
When are we
Tuesday's
going
gonna
out?
be-
When do we go out?
We're done and off the air at 12:50, 7:50.
All right.
What's this new music? Because I'm intrigued.
You just hang on and go for the ride. You don't do math? I was a back timing master.
Well, I just want to know what the music is. Because apparently
We're going to go ahead and test you now.
Okey-dokey.
Tester.
She's going to fail.
Maybe.
You can't find the hole.
This really is.
There it is.
This really
It's
is
a
very
small hole.
enlightening for me.
Are you sure you're okay to try?
All right.
This is terribly enlightening. I
Can
suddenly
you
realized
see
they
the
were
top?
probably
Can you see it? Oh,
I
can you
can
see
see
it
it.
now?
I'll be driving a lot less in the future.
You are at.
We're
Yeah, so when we come back, we'll have about 2
1.6.
minutes, 2.5 minutes.
106.
It's at
0.7 almost.
54,
Oh.
50
You round
now.
They don't.
Yeah, so we'll have
Beautiful
about,
law.
about 2 minutes.
I don't want that.
Okay, here we go.
You should play Education Watch again.
Oh, we are having such a good time here in the studio for the Valley today. We're doing our alcohol lab. If you're just joining us, we are joined in the studio by Lieutenant Warren Gosnell, Traffic Division Commander from the Frederick County Sheriff's Department, and our 3 guinea pigs who have been drinking and blowing into the breathalyzer.
I'm
so
not a guinea pig.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a guinea
prefer-
hog.
you're
I can stop speaking.
I prefer the term human test subject.
okay. Well, give me a number. Tell me what numbers are these people at this point?
Right now, we've tested Leslie, who had 30 ounces of malt beverage in an hour's time. She's at almost a .07. So she's between that range where she could be convicted if she were stopped and charged. And she's only 1 point away from the presumptive level, and she didn't even have 3 full bottles of the beverage that she was drinking.
Wow.
She feels like she is impaired,
Yes,
correct?
that is correct.
You wouldn't drive now?
I wouldn't drive now doing this test and realizing this is
Okay.
how I feel about the
And that's the key. That's what we're hoping people take away
Yeah.
from this. All right, now we've got Joe going for his final.
I just blew my tube.
Now, Joe had 6 12-ounce beers in an hour and 10 minutes.
Wow, you really need to cut back, Joe.
I have a problem.
Well, and you figure that's, what, 70 minutes? So that's a beer every 11 and a half,
Which
every
is
12
average.
minutes.
Yeah,
If
it's
you go
really
to the
not
bar
out
with
of the
coworkers
ordinary.
or something
No,
like that.
you're sitting out back. You just finished mowing the grass.
Oh, I'm done.
Joe is a .118.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
going to jail. If I drive.
Yes.
They're
Which
gonna
I
like
We're gonna
it.
take your crime times photo when we're done here.
All right, so our final subject, Alex. Alex had 4 beers in an hour and 10 minutes, which is definitely plausible for a young man who drinks on a regular basis, having just recently graduated from college and celebrating every weekend or every test. Or he's a .09.
Wow.
So again, 4 beers, DUI. Joe, 6 beers, DUI. Leslie,
2.5.
2.5, borderline.
Borderline DUI.
There you go.
We are going to go off the air. However, we're going to keep live streaming on Facebook. So if you want to switch over, that would be great. And we'll be back here on Tuesday for the Valley Today. All right. So keep talking to the Facebook camera.
They can't
Hello,
hear us.
Facebook camera.
Yeah, I thought there was no sound.
The sound.
Their sound is just that
It's going to be very
you
muted.
may or may not be able to hear it. All of a sudden, we hear it.
That's what it's going to sound like.
It's like the Metro.
Here's what we're going to do. All right. So that there will be better sound. Keep talking, keep talking,
Wait,
keep
can I drink
talking.
the rest of this now? I just think it's
All right. So yeah.
No, yeah, you can if
Okay.
you want.
All right.
If you're
So
comfortable.
Well, I mean,
we're
yeah,
going
Fine.
to,
fine finishing it.
now the sound should be better.
Oh, yay, sound. Sound
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Say hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for my turkey sandwich.
There's pizza in the lobby.
Oh,
So,
yeah, pizza.
Pizza.
Joe, let me ask you, what is, you've done this now, what, 3 times?
Twice.
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 That's
What
right.
is
I
the
forgot.
biggest thing that you, oh, that's right, because
No,
you were
that's
sick the
dinner.
last
Oh,
time.
this is
What's the
better.
biggest thing that you're taking away from all of this
Joe's over
today?
there.
That's Joe.
There's Joe.
There's Joe.
Even if you have one, don't drive.
It's just easier and safer.
It's stupid. You know, it's not worth it.
All right, now we're going to skip past Warren to Alex.
Hey.
This is your first time. What are you thinking? What have you learned?
I'm feeling pretty good, but I'm smart enough to know that I shouldn't be driving.
Well, so your college education is coming into play here.
Yeah, that college education finally paid off.
Yes.
30 grand.
And poor Leslie, who didn't have any idea when she came to have lunch with her
No,
sister
that's
today
That is
what was
true.
going to happen to her when she
I
walked
got
into the
roped into
station.
this. I got roped into this really quickly.
So you're completely cold. You've not ever seen us do these. You have no
No.
background or history at all. What do you
None.
think of doing this as a process?
I really like this. It definitely puts into perspective, like, what you can drink and drive is and what you shouldn't drink and drive is. And I didn't realize that at the level of inebriation that I feel right now that it wouldn't be safe to drink and drive, if I'm being completely honest, which is a little embarrassing. I apologize to everyone here and everyone out there, but, it's definitely been put into perspective for me. So.
Yeah, and that's the key. So with that being said, as we turn around, ta-da, let me back. I'm going the opposite way. So here we go. Give us the lowdown, Alex.
Yes,
Behave.
I am behaving. You behave, Janet.
There we go. All
Am I
right.
giving the lowdown?
Now you're going to give us the lowdown. What does everybody need to remember? 3-4 points that they need to know to take away with them.
Number one, we preach the thing of none for the road. Can you not have a beer at dinner or a glass of wine at dinner or a mixed drink at dinner and still be able to drive? Yes, you can. Should you? That's going to be the question. I don't know what you're drinking. I don't know what your tolerance is. This is a thing that comes into play. Let's take the BAC out of it for a moment. What if just by that feeling good from that 1 or 2 drinks you had, you're the one that wrecks? Even if you don't get the DUI, you just ran through an intersection, or you didn't notice the red light, or your reaction time was just a second too slow, and instead of being able to avoid a crash, you're in a crash. So there's that factor. Alcohol-related crashes. Not necessarily DUIs, but alcohol-related. It doesn't take long to get to the DUI. Now, we've shown this.
Absolutely.
There are some states that are talking about lowering the limit to .05.
I've heard that because I know there was a lot of rumors about Virginia actually doing that effective today, but that wasn't the case in
Correct.
the state of Virginia.
But they are talking about doing it. Organizations like Mothers Against Drunk Driving and such. You have to realize these people have gone through some very traumatic situations.
Right.
And so they take this topic to heart and take it seriously, which is why I prefaced our joking and having a good time with, I want people to get the underlying message.
Right.
I've had family members killed by drunk drivers.
Mm-hmm.
I've had an alcoholic father who is now no longer an alcoholic, but after he sobered up, he was hit head on by another drunk. He survived. I've been involved twice before I got in law enforcement with drunk drivers hitting me
Yeah.
in my car. That's why I took this very seriously when I first got into law enforcement. So you have some people that are very, very passionate, and they're going to be tough. And when you say a .05, all the people here, Leslie, Joe, and Alex.
Yeah, let's see, Joe, Alex, and Leslie.
They were all above the 05 on their second round. So when it comes down to the I only had 2 beers, if that BAC level gets reduced to 05, that could be a true statement. But these people that are blowing 1.0s and 1.2s and 1.5s and telling us that they've only had 2 beers,
That's a lie.
That's right.
Yeah.
And lying isn't going to help you.
No.
Telling me you only had 2 doesn't mean
Yeah.
I'm going to say you're free to go.
Yeah,
Right.
it never happens.
We're going to test you and we're going to go
Yeah.
from there. How many points was that? How many did you want me to make? 4?
Yeah, that's those.
But I mean, and that's the thing. We have a good time when we do this, and it's hard not to because we're asking these folks to ingest alcohol, which lowers a person's inhibitions. You know, as long as you don't overdo it, a person normally does start to feel good or tipsy, whatever term you want
And
to
sometimes
use.
that tends to drinking even more.
Right. And so, yeah, we have a good time when we do this, but there's no one in this room that would want to end up in the regional jail or the hospital or
The morgue.
find out that they put someone
Yes.
in the hospital or worse.
I couldn't imagine.
So,
Couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't last 10 minutes in jail. Have you seen me?
All right. Well, on that happy note, we are going to say thank you, Joe. Tell everybody. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Alex. We appreciate that. Thank you, Leslie. Bless her heart. And more importantly, thank you, Lieutenant Gosnell, because it was fun, but it was a very important topic. So we encourage everybody, share this on your Facebook page. Let your friends read it and watch it and go to the...
Towards you.
I don't want to point it towards me.
How are they supposed to know what you look like?
Yeah, hang on, wait a minute. Oh, look, there I am. That's all you get. You get that little bit, and then we're going back to this one. Go to theriver953.com, click the Valley today, the on-demand tab, click the Valley today, listen to the show today, watch the show today, and more importantly, have a great time this weekend in moderation.
who's the gentleman in England?
And
What
don't
was his name
drive.
again?
Chris McGilvery is watching in England. He is our news guy, our news director, Al McGilvery's cousin.
Chris,
Oh, wow.
have a wonderful day or
Hello, Chris.
early morning.
And thanks for listening.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
thank
I'm
you for
sure
Oh, it's
that,
evening. It's evening
Yeah,
there now.
and I'm assuming that one of my biggest
It's,
fans,
6
Scott
p.m.
Fink from the
We're 5
FBI
hours ahead
building,
of
is
us.
watching because he's now become one of my biggest fans. He's got great taste. Great taste.
Oh, now
On
you
that
just
note,
say-
yes,
now
we're
you
going to
just
say
lie,
done. Yeah.